From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good Wednesday morning. Right now, you're taking a live look at Yakima. This view coming courtesy of Bi-Mart. All of the city lights shimmering this morning. Visibility is looking pretty good for lower elevations, but for the higher terrain, specifically up in the Cascades, we're seeing some reductions in visibility. So just a good reason to take it slow on US Highway 12 or I-90 this morning, especially up towards Snoqualmie Pass. Okay, now on to temperatures as we're down into the 20s and 30s in the Kittitas and Yakima valleys, but noticeably warmer in the lower Columbia Basin with 40s and 50s, mid 40s in the Blue Foothills, and down into the 30s and 40s for the Blues, 20s and 30s up in the Cascades. So you might have to break out the ice scraper in the higher terrain of both mountain ranges or for portions of the valleys. Here's your coat cast for today. Mainly light jacket weather, maybe even t-shirt weather by the time we get to the peak of daytime heating. We're going to be in the 60s for lower elevations, and we'll have a lot of this weather over the next 7 days, but we are tracking a storm system could bring some small mountain snowfall totals and some big time wind gusts. I'll tell you about that coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, an overnight car crash sends one person to the hospital after they crashed into a power pole. We'll let you know exactly where this happened and what we know about the investigation so far.
Also, burn permit changes for Kittitas County, and we go over what those are just ahead.
Also coming up, University of Washington students caught by surprise after their visas were canceled by the U.S. government. We have the story and so much more right now on Good Morning Northwest.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jade Elliott. It is Wednesday, April 9th. And a lot of new information coming in just this morning with some national headlines that we're going to get to in a minute.
That's right. We want to start off with one person who's in the hospital after Benton County deputies responded to a car hitting a power pole. Now, this happened near East Perkins Road just after midnight. And officials say 2 people were checked by medics at the scene, and the 19-year-old driver was taken to the hospital.
Yeah, investigators telling us that speed and not paying attention appeared to be the main factors in this crash. That road was temporarily closed as Benton PUD crews had to work to replace that damaged power pole. A reminder, this week is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, so make sure to put down your distractions and keep your eyes on the road. Also this morning, a new major update in the murder of 39-year-old Anabel Arreola, who went missing in March of last year. Javier Santana has been sentenced to 15 years in prison for second-degree murder. 5 of those years will be served without the possibility of an early release. Back on March 3rd, investigators located what they believed were Arreola's remains near the Vernita Bridge. DNA testing confirmed that. The case remains active with additional charges with additional suspects. And a deadly house fire is under investigation in Pierce County. Deputies and fire crews responding to the fire at a home in Gig Harbor last night. Take a look at this video from the scene. Neighbors reporting hearing a loud explosion inside. Firefighters did discover 2 people dead, 1 confirmed to be a man. The identities of those 2 have not been released at the time. Investigators say the deaths and the fire do seem suspicious.
In crime news this morning, a Pasco man accused of sex crimes against children is arrested. Officials say they took 34-year-old Jonathan Atkinson into custody yesterday in the Tri-Cities area. Now, last week, a federal grand jury indicted Atkinson on 11 criminal counts. Now, looking closer at those charges, if he's found guilty, the maximum sentence would be life in prison. He is scheduled to be arraigned in federal court tomorrow, and if you know anything about this, call Pasco Police as soon as possible.
In a follow-up this morning, the city of Walla Walla is now in their 3rd phase of the Veteran Headstones Improvement Project at Mountain View Cemetery. This is in an effort to help clean, preserve, and replace headstones and the bases that have been damaged due to weather and other elements. The contractor will help replace 173 headstones by forming and pouring new bases. The Veterans Administration is providing the headstones to the city at no cost, and the Washington Trust of Historic Preservation is providing a $50,000 grant towards the project.
Now take a look at this crash in Kennewick from yesterday morning. This was just after sunrise. A portion of the intersection of 10th Avenue and South Olympia Street were blocked. KPD says this car failed to yield the right-of-way and overturned. Luckily, no one was hurt, and the roadway was reopened just in time for the morning rush hour.
In fire news this morning, burn permits for recreational burning or yard waste are no longer required, according to Kittatasset Valley Fire and Rescue. They say if you light a fire, it is your responsibility to do it legally and safely, ensuring it does not get out of control. Now, when it comes to recreational fires in the city of Ellensburg, they must be more than 25 feet away from a structure. But if you live outside city limits or the urban growth area, you can only use organic material. Also, any field burn must be less than 1 acre. And a reminder, burn barrels are never allowed.
Looking ahead today, the Washington State Department of Transportation is launching its We Bike program website. A link to apply for a rebate will be available on that website starting at 7 a.m. today, and it'll go through noon on April 23rd. And the state is offering more than $4 million in instant rebates to reduce the upfront cost of e-bikes and eligible accessories. The program will provide about 10,000 rebates, and each person may qualify for either $300 or $1,200, depending on their income. If you are interested, visit the website to check your eligibility and learn about qualifying e-bikes and retailers.
And the city of Sunnyside wants to hear from you. They're hosting 2 community forums to gather public input on whether to allow the retail sale of cannabis within city limits. These 2 forum times are set for today at noon and at 6 p.m. Just head over to the Sunnyside Community Center on 1st Street. And this is your chance to ask questions and share your thoughts about the future of Sunnyside when it comes to legal pot.
And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, students and recent graduates at the University of Washington caught by surprise when the U.S. government canceled their visas without any notice. We hear from one of the students' attorneys just in a few minutes.
But first, give me that live look outside this morning over Yakima from our Bi-Mart camera. We're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He's going to have your first alert forecast after the break. It's 5:07.
Hi, I'm Rowdy with Total Energy Management. For 40 years, we've been keeping the Tri-Cities comfortable with top-notch heating and air conditioning services. We take pride in delivering exceptional service and unbeatable deals. Right now, you can save big with up to $4,900 in rebates and tax credits on a new Carrier heating and cooling system. So turn to the experts at Total Energy Management to ensure your house has the perfect temperature year-round. Visit TEMINC.com or call 946-4500 to learn more.
Spring is in the air, so let's fill it with music. At Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos, our New Beginnings Spring Used Piano Sale is in full swing. From charming uprights to grand statement pieces, we've got gently loved pianos at prices that'll put a spring in your step. Each piano is expertly tuned, ready to play, and waiting for you. Spring into new beginnings today at Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos in Richland, because life's more fun when you know how to play.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a ride. Whether you're shaping up a small yard or taking on serious acreage, let's go the distance. Shop in-store and online for 0% financing and instant rebates on select Steel mowers. Steel. Let's go mow.
The Working Families Tax Credit isn't just for families. Individuals and couples can apply too. See if you or your family are eligible for this tax refund at workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov/eligibility.
I'm gonna be a cop again!
Tonight, Jackie's giving it another shot.
The last time you were in the field, you had to leave the force because you shot yourself in the leg.
Or, as we like to call it, the dishonorable discharge.
The Connors Farewell Event tonight on ABC.
The Seattle Kraken meet Las Vegas live in the desert Thursday on Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and take you on a temperature tour for this morning. We start off in Kittitas County. We're right at freezing for Snoqualmie Pass. We're above that for Cle Elum, Ellensburg, and for Vantage. Then in the Yakima Valley, Yakima at 29 degrees. Not sure if that's an aberration or what, because the rest of the valley is up into the mid to upper 30s. So we'll see what happens with that temperature sensor a little bit later this morning. And then in the lower Columbia Basin, much warmer as opposed to 29 if that's actually going on. 40s and 50s, 50 for Hermiston, 49 for the Tri-Cities, 41 in Benton City. We're in the low to mid 40s for the Blue Foothills, 47 for both Milton, Freewater, and Walla Walla, and around 40 degrees for Cabbage Hill, Meacham, the Battle Mountain Summit, and Ukiah. Here's your day planner for lower elevations. It's going to be a dry day. Skies are going to range from partly to mostly cloudy, and high temperatures should be seasonal for early April. So for today, seasonal out there. Again, skies partly to mostly cloudy. There will be some breezes in the Blue Foothills gusting out of the north and east around 20 to 25 miles per hour. And then for tonight, some of those winds they'll spread into the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains, but also we could have winds gusting out of the south and east in the Cascades, also between 20 to 25 miles per hour. Overnight lows down into the 40s. And for tomorrow, we will have a chance for some more thunderstorms in the Cascades, eyeballing some big time wind gusts for this week, and I'll tell you about that coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thanks so much. 11 minutes after 5 now, and 9 students and recent graduates at the University of Washington say they were caught by surprise when the U.S. government canceled their visas without any notice. Allison Sundell spoke with an attorney representing one of these students who says his client is terrified.
Absolutely no due process at this point has been provided to these students.
Jay Gerson, an immigration and national security lawyer, is representing one of the 9 University of Washington students who had their visas pulled by the Trump administration.
It's just simply that they've been alleged to have some form of criminal activity, and therefore their status is being terminated.
Gerson says the UW student he represents is from China, but he's also representing students from Iran and South Africa.
There's no rhyme or reason to this. From what I've seen of other lawyers who have this, these students are from all over the world. There isn't any specific country.
Gerson says students have basically 3 options: leave the country, petition the government to be reinstated, or sue.
My clients are suing the U.S. government for failure to follow their own rules and regulations. Specifically, the challenge is to the students having not actually been convicted of a crime.
According to the New York Times, the United States issued more than 400,000 visas in 2024, and so far nearly 300 students have been abruptly stripped of their visas in recent days. Gerson says his clients are terrified.
This is having a major impact. It is leaving them nervous, afraid, and unsure of what to do in their lives.
The story we'll keep you updated on, of course. 5:13 still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest, giving you that live look outside from our Legends Casino and Hotel Sky Camera at Richland's Columbia Point. Taking a look over the mighty Columbia at Howard Amen. When we come back, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your forecast and what you can expect as you make your way through the week. It's all coming up after the break. It's 5:13.
It's the spring clearance sale at Furniture Row, so there's no better time to liven up your living room, deck out your dining area, beautify your bedroom, or make your money work for you with 48 months no interest. The spring clearance sale on now at Furniture Row.
Curve Appeal's new Era machine is here with an unbeatable offer. Get 4 sessions for just $999 or 8 sessions for $1799. The best prices in town for incredible results. This special ends April 12th. Start your new era with Curve Appeal. Book your consultation today.
Come discover our hand-picked collections at D-Lynn's Boutique. Whether you're shopping for a cozy weekend getaway or a special night out, D-Lynn's Boutique has everything you need to shine this winter. Visit us in-store or online and let us help you wrap the season in style.
The Inland Northwest is a vibrant community rich in tradition and pride, and Culligan has a long history of providing custom solutions to address the area's water worries, like nitrates, bacteria, and PFAS. Culligan, water you love since 1936.
The Y-Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
To keep your home cool and comfortable all summer, your air conditioner needs maintenance this spring. Vance will inspect, test, and clean your AC so it's ready for hot weather. Don't take a chance. Call Vance.
If you want to win big in Sin City, you have to avoid the sin bin. You gotta play it cool and leave nothing to chance. Kraken, Golden Knights, pregame at 6:30, Thursday on Apple Valley News Now.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some. Gimme Some Bagels.
Bedtime peace of mind could come from a psychoanalyst, or you can rest easy with Denver Mattress's 365-night better sleep guarantee. And during the spring clearance sale, find huge savings on clearance items throughout the store, or score 48 months no interest and free shipping. Peace of mind and a great night's sleep, only at Denver Mattress.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacey Lee Weather, Apple Valley News Now, on your side. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today's going to be a dry day, so we'll pick up the action with Futurecast radar tomorrow at 8 in the morning. We'll put this into motion. Not much doing in the morning, but looks like that skipped through a little bit too fast. We'll try to do that again. Okay, so not much happening in the morning, but as we head closer to lunchtime, you can see we'll see the arrival, really after lunchtime, we'll see the arrival of this next round of rain and thunderstorms and maybe even a little bit of higher terrain snow. So that would be around 2 p.m. Then by 5 p.m., some of this spreading down into the valleys. Looks like the Cascades are going to eat up a lot of this moisture, but this iteration of Futurecast suggesting that we could have around 8 p.m. could have some rainfall, moderate to heavy rainfall at times in portions of the lower Columbia Basin. But I do think, once again, that the Cascades are going to eat up most of this, if not all of it. Okay, we'll have wind gusts to deal with once again for tomorrow, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. They'll gust out of the north and west for the Cascades and for the valleys, out of the south and west for much of the rest of the region. And the fastest wind gusts are going to continue to be up in the Cascades, especially for US 97 there at Salinas Pass. All right, so we'll deal with that next little impulse as we head into Friday and Saturday. This storm system, in terms of the snowfall and the rainfall that we'll get, not that impressive, but once again, wind's going to be a big factor with the storm system, especially on Saturday, specifically in the Kittitas Valley and in the Bluefoot Hills of Morrow County. Some of those winds out of the west and northwest between 50 to 55 miles per hour. That's something we're definitely going to be tracking. And then in terms of the snowfall for the storm system, not much doing, maybe a couple of inches for Interstate 90, probably less than an inch for I-84 and for Oregon 204. High temperatures, mostly seasonal over the next 7 days, but it's really going to be a roller coaster ride. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Dry and mild/warm with a stretch of breezy weather from Thursday through Saturday, but also from Monday and Tuesday. In Yakima, breezes picking up Thursday and Friday, with the peak being on Saturday. Calmer weather by Sunday. In Ellensburg, windy on Friday and Saturday, with the strongest winds on Saturday. Another bout of winds possible into Monday and Tuesday, but not nearly as strong. In Hermiston, a stretch of breezy conditions Thursday through Saturday, and breezes picking up again at the beginning of next week. Then for Walla Walla, small shower chances Friday and Saturday, with a few thunderstorms possible Saturday, dry for Sunday and beyond. Now you're taking a live look at Columbia Point. This view coming courtesy of the Legends Casino and Hotel. Thanks for waking up with Good Morning Northwest, where we're always on your side.
You've probably had a few close calls in traffic, seeing someone just before they see you, having to honk your horn, or even slam on your brakes. But if your luck runs out, don't gamble with the system. Play it safe and get legal help.
My family's been serving the Tri-Cities since 1939 at Griggs and the Tri-Cities Ace stores.
And we have some deals we don't want you to miss.
Choose from these long-handled garden tools at only $19.99.
Miracle-Gro garden soil, 2 bags for $10. That's a 42% savings.
Roundup weed and grass killer sale priced at $22.99.
Triple 16 fertilizer, the lowest price around, only $24.88.
See all the deals using this QR code. Come see us at Griggs and the Tri-Cities Ace stores and thank you for your business.
At US Cellular, you don't have to choose between a great deal on the phone you want and the phone plan that's right for you.
You can get both. 4 free phones of your choice and 4 lines for just $90.
Wow, kids, that's like us not having to choose between tickets to wrestling or that puppet musical.
We want a great phone and a great plan too, don't we, little guy?
Get both. 4 free phones of your choice plus 4 lines for $90. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
Attention former Hanford workers and contractors. You deserve the benefits and care you've earned. You may qualify for benefits including life-changing in-home health care. Join United Energy Workers Healthcare for a free Atomic Family Reunion at the Three Rivers Convention Center in Kennewick on Friday, April 11th. Reconnect, enjoy great food, and learn about exclusive benefits to help you live longer, better, and independently at home. RSVP by calling 509-286-2661 or visit uewhealth.com.
I have 2 options for you to take a look at.
When it's time for an update or complete remodel,
Just watch yourself there. So here, guys, we're going to rip everything down to the stud.
Rebath is with you every step of the way, from design and products to removal and installation.
Okay, what do you guys think?
We handle the entire process to create a beautiful and functional bathroom for whatever your life needs. Rebath, with you every step of the way. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,000 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Closed head and spinal injuries can bring anyone's active life to a sudden halt. Allen Brecky Law Offices help trauma victims on the road to recovery. We understand what you're going through and are serious about helping you.
The Seattle Kraken meet Las Vegas live in the desert Thursday on Apple Valley News Now.
521, welcome back to Good Morning Northwest and your entertainment news this morning. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning just dropped some explosive footage of what could be Ethan Hunt's final mission.
Uh-oh, I'm excited to see this one. Plus, The Handmaid's Tale is back in the spotlight with familiar faces returning and also some new ones joining for its final season.
David Daniel has it all in your Hollywood Minute.
Your team has been betrayed, Ethan. All your secrets compromised. Everything you are, everything you've done, has come to this.
Here's your latest look at Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the 8th and supposedly final film in the franchise that's made close to $4 billion worldwide, arrives in theaters May 23rd.
Dear Lord, no, not this again.
The Handmaid's Tale has brought back some familiar faces.
The costumes on the show really do a lot of the work. It's like cheating. And once I'm kind of zipped up and in Naomi's stilts with a giant bun. The heels really bring it home.
Who amongst us hasn't been tempted?
And introduce some new ones.
I hope that they feel that it ends, in a way that feels like it does service to, it does service to the story, but also feels correct. It feels right.
The 6th and final season of The Handmaid's Tale debuts today on Hulu. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I know, you're
I've
a
been
Handmaid's
trying
girly.
to get you and you to watch Handmaid's Tale.
No, I've watched Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah, but
I haven't finished
not all of it.
I just don't want to finish it.
I don't
want to.
think I'll get to it until like the weekend, maybe next week. So I'm gonna try to steer clear of the internet.
I gotta figure out when to start. Now?
Yeah, I don't know. If you're happy, don't start. Because it's like so depressing. At least at first.
Good to know.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty happy right now, so maybe I'll give it a few. It's so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Temperatures have been pretty nice, and it may have you wanting to visit some state parks, but the cost of going to one could soon be increasing. We have those details coming up.
Plus an update on a mystery that's been haunting Benton County for over 35 years. How investigators are finally getting some answers. It's all in your next half hour, but first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2 kicked off with a bang, but not in the U.S. Nintendo paused all U.S. pre-order plans, citing the potential impact
of the tariffs, but major retailers overseas were selling out of the console in a matter of minutes. Microsoft is once again the world's most valuable company, worth more than $2.6 trillion. It replaced Apple, which has plunged 23% in value since late last week. Apple, at just under $2.6 trillion, is under pressure amid the president's tariff plan. And finally, Uber is out with its latest Lost and Found Index. No surprise, the top 3 commonly left behind items were phones, keys, and wallets. One of the most unique items list: a mannequin head with human hair, a Viking drinking horn, a chainsaw, and breast milk. Uber says the most forgetful city was New York. And to the driver who found my wallet, I don't know how to repay you. Those are your Tech Bites.
New Lavanda Lysol gives your casa the same Lysol disinfection you trust, but now has a scent that'll make you move. Effortlessly kill 99.9% of germs. With new Lysol Brand New Day Lavender, it'll leave a scent you'll love. Lavanda your casa with Lysol.
I thought people exaggerated about the pain from shingles.
I was wrong. I learned that the hard way.
But you don't have to. Talk to your healthcare provider today.
Chris, why is now a good time to choose Leaf Filter?
We install Leaf Filter's patented gutter protection system year-round, wherever you live in any climate.
That's impressive.
And it's backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or visit leaffilter.com.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. Joining us here for Good Morning Northwest, I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, let's talk cash with Colbert. Jackpot going up, cha-ching, cha-ching.
It is, and we reached a critical threshold yesterday. We are now up to $200 for the jackpot. Oh. Yep, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Our 3-degree guarantee, sponsored by our friends at the Legends Casino and Hotel. So yesterday I went with a forecast high of 65 in Pasco Tri-Cities, and it verified at 63. So yes, the jackpot did go up to $200. For today, I'm once again going with a forecast high of 65 in Pasco Tri-Cities. Why not? Worked yesterday, so that's what I'm going to do for today. If the actual high verifies between 62 to 68, the jackpot's going to go up to $225. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleyNewsNow.com, clicking on the contest page, or you can scan the QR code that's on your screen. Right now, you're taking a live look at Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of Yakima Federal. Good visibility for lower elevations for this morning, but up into the Cascades, pretty lousy visibility, especially on Interstate 90 up towards Snoqualmie Pass. So take it slow, use the low beams in those thicker patches of fog. Temperatures sort of all over the map this morning. 20s and 30s in the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys, 40s and 50s in the Basin, mid-40s in the foothills, 30s and 40s for the Blues, 30s up in the Cascades. So where you're around or below 32 degrees, that's where it could be a little bit frosty out there. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. We're going to have temperatures getting up into the mid-60s in spite of clouds building throughout the day, but plenty of sunshine for this morning. So for today, for lower elevation, seasonal high is going to be in the 60s, partly to mostly cloudy skies, and I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Starting off your half hour with an exclusive, now we do want to warn you that some of the images in this story are pretty disturbing. We have an update on a decades-old mystery, one that's haunted Benton County for more than 35 years. There are finally some answers in the death of a baby, and this is thanks to advances in DNA technology and a little help from a different state. Our very own Dan Hansen has more.
In 1989, a newborn baby was found dead in a landfill. Fast forward to today, the Benton County coroner is trying to find out just who that baby is.
This has always been on my radar.
It was over 30 years ago that a baby's body was found in a Richland landfill. So decomposed, investigators couldn't even determine the sex.
The Richland Police Department did an investigation in 1989 when the baby was discovered at the Richland landfill. And they did DNA, they interviewed a bunch of people, but they could never find any information about who the baby might be.
The case eventually went cold, but Benton County Coroner Bill Leach never let it go. Now, advancements in DNA analysis may finally crack it open with the help from a Texas-based grant.
I always wanted to do a disinterment and try to do DNA on, and was finally able to do so because of a grant was offered to us from a company out of Texas.
The grant covers all costs related to identifying the baby. Coroner's officials, with help from the Benton County Sheriff's Office, recently exhumed the infant's remains from a Richland cemetery.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find in the casket, but we're hoping there's one big bone left, hopefully a femur, and that will be sent down to Texas, and they will do a DNA profile using the marrow or whatever they use to do DNA. And they will also do the researching of all public open databases for previous DNA, and also I believe they will do the criminal databases as well.
There's no timeline for when the results might come back. As for how the baby died, Leach says the original autopsy showed no signs of outward trauma.
At the time, there was no indications that there was a trauma, and unfortunately, there was trauma to the baby or the body when it was found due to heavy equipment operating in the area.
Leach says they never knew if the baby was stillborn or alive at birth. The 1989 police investigation turned up no leads, no name, no family, and no answers.
We want to put a name. That's the ultimate goal, is find a baby born and then put in the ground unknown is a terrible thing. We should know who the mom is. We should know who put a name to it.
If the parents are eventually found and charges are filed, Leach says that's not up to him. Coroner Leach encourages anyone who knows anything about this case to contact Detective Cameron Fancher at the Richland Police Department. Reporting in Richland, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
Thanks for that update, Dan. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we learn more on that case as well. And in continuing coverage this morning, a judge is set to consider what evidence to allow in the case against Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students. Prosecutors and defense attorneys have submitted dozens of court filings ahead of today's hearing, arguing over what evidence they think should be and should not be admitted at the trial. Evidence including Kohberger's online purchase of a knife and a sheath. Also arguing whether a witness can describe an intruder she saw on the night of the killing as having bushy eyebrows. Well, it's unclear if the judge will rule from the bench or release his decision in a later written order. The death penalty trial is set for August.
Turning to Yakima now, a game-changing enhancement is coming soon to the emergency response system in Yakima County. It's soon launching the 911 nurse navigation, and this is a team of trained nurses who will use physician protocols to help screen the caller, ultimately offering the best and most appropriate resource to meet that caller's healthcare needs. And that's starting April 22nd. This new tool will be available to help 911 callers with less serious medical needs, and these are situations that don't require an urgent response, which in turn will reduce unnecessary ambulance dispatches and ER visits. And it is almost summertime, and the nicer weather will have more people heading outdoors to visit some state parks, but the cost of visiting could soon increase. Washington state lawmakers advanced a bill that would raise the cost of a yearly pass that gets you into state parks, and this would be the first increase in 14 years. If passed, Senate Bill 5390 would increase the cost of the Discover Pass and also day-use permits. The Discover Pass is currently $30 and the day-use permit is $10. The legislation would increase the Discover Pass fee to $45 and the day-use permit to $15. Proponents say it accounts for the rise in inflation since 2011, but some opponents say they support the increased fees, but not the distribution of the funds. With a 29-20 vote, the bill passed the Senate, and if passed into law, this would take effect 90 days after session adjourns on April 27th.
And in more legislature news, the state Senate passed a bill that excludes juvenile facilities from laws around punishments for prison riots. Albert James shows us why proponents say that the change is necessary to correct unfair standards and why opponents say the bill threatens safety for kids and staff at already dangerous facilities.
Mr. President, there are 27 aye, 21 nay, 1 excused.
House Bill 1815 excludes juvenile detention facilities operated by counties or the Department of Children, Youth and Families from laws around prison riots. Under those laws, if at least 2 people disturb the order of the facility, they could be charged with a riot and face at least another year behind bars. Supporters of the bill argue prison riot charges have been disproportionately brought against juveniles, particularly at DCYF's Green Hill School in Lewis County.
Charges are often brought against young people getting into fistfights and not stopping the fight when told to do so. They often are brought also against young people who are in the way and get into a fight and are not part of that fight.
Democratic Senator Claire Wilson says instead, riot behavior would be handled by DCYF's internal behavioral management system, and additional charges for bad behavior would be brought based on other specific offenses.
Like custodial assault, which is a Class C felony, Assault 1, a Class A felony, Assault 2, a Class B felony, Assault 3, a Class C felony, or 4, a gross misdemeanor.
All Republicans were joined in opposition to the bill by 2 Democrats, arguing the bill prioritizes offenders rather than facility staff and their safety.
This is sending a message that it's okay to riot in the prison because you'll not be charged with that charge because it'll go away.
While opponents acknowledge the current prison riot laws may be too harsh, they say the fix is to change the standards, not get rid of them altogether. Senate Minority Leader John Braun spoke out as the Green Hill Juvenile Facility, plagued by overcrowding, inmate unrest, and allegations of staff misconduct, is in his district.
It is a very dangerous place for the students and for the staff. And what this bill will do, meaning well, but what this will do will add more uncertainty and less chance to create a safe environment.
Because the Senate amended the bill, it'll now go back to the House to weigh in on those changes before it's sent to the governor for his consideration. At the state capitol in Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, we meet a 5-year-old terrier cattle dog mix named Dorita. She's got the cutest name and the cutest face, and we have more on her after the break.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
I met a cute poodle outside. She said everyone's talking about you and how you work for free.
When you're injured and have the heavy hitter on your team, we win or it's free. Hello? That cute poodle you were talking to wants to have a play date.
Let's go.
Call 853-2222.
We have a very special bond, I think, as a family. Spectrum is the connecting thread to everything we do.
It provides us with reliability, lightning speeds, and allows us to do what we need to do in our lives.
From school to homework to entertainment, Spectrum's the perfect match for me and my family.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Bathfitter showers have got people talking. Our wide selection of showers means it's exactly what we wanted. Seamless and watertight walls are much easier to clean than tiles and grout. And they stay in excellent shape. Every Bathfitter shower is backed by a lifetime warranty. And with thousands of 5-star reviews, the experience exceeds expectations. It's no wonder millions of Bathfitter customers love their new shower. It just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
McCurley Dealerships is celebrating 44 years with big giving and even bigger savings. Fill out an entry form at any McCurley dealership for a chance to win one of 2 $4,400 cash prizes. Plus, each winner gets an additional $4,400 to donate to one of 44 local nonprofit partners. No purchase necessary. And during this special month, lease a new Honda Civic for only $344 a month or save with 0% financing. McCurley Honda, celebrating 44 years of savings, giving back, and helping you find your way home.
At the Pacific Clinic, we understand the juggle of parenthood. That's why the PC is your one-stop shop for all your health, sports, and medical needs. Schedule your appointments around your favorite group fitness classes and use our on-site childcare services.
From women's health to care for your little ones, we practice a comprehensive approach to keep your family feeling great.
With our quick and convenient scheduling, we'll get you in within the same week, often the next day. Call us today at 509-783-5465.
I met a cute poodle outside. She said everyone's talking about you and how you work for free.
When you're injured and have the heavy hitter on your team, we win or it's free. Hello? That cute poodle you were talking to wants to have a play date.
Let's go.
Call 853-2222.
Tonight, President Trump's tariff blitz for all countries. How will this affect prices for American families? Plus, millions in the path of life-threatening storms. World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
We are going to the district to get Ava her job back.
We can discuss the facts or what happened all day until we're blue in the face, you know?
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and take you on a zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. We start off in Kittitas County, where these highs are going to be in the low 50s up in the Cascades, but low to mid 60s in the Kittitas Valley and in Vantage, which is more of a basin environment. Skies are going to be partly to mostly cloudy. In the Yakima Valley, skies are actually going to be mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Highs will be in the low to mid 60s. Also light winds here, light winds in the lower Columbia Basin, where we'll be stuck in the mid 60s. Also mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. The higher up in the basin you go, especially in northern Benton and Franklin counties, that's where you're going to have more sunshine. Then in the Blue Foothills, low to mid 60s, mostly cloudy skies here. Winds gusting out of the north and east for the Blue Foothills up around 20 miles per hour. We'll have lighter winds for the Blue Mountains. These highs going to be in the mid 50s to low 60s. And you know what I love to talk about around this time of the morning? The big picture. Here's some of the reservoir levels compared to where they should be for this time of the year. We have great news for the Bumping Reservoir in the Yakima Basin, as that one is now running a surplus of about 45%. And even some good news with the reservoirs that are running deficits. These deficits just a couple weeks ago were between 55 to 70%. So now they're just 35 to 40%. So we're trending in the right direction.
Time now for Operation Best Friend. This segment is all about pairing you with your new best friend, a pet from a local shelter who's looking for their forever home.
And today we're meeting Dorita from the Tri-Cities Animal Services, and she was found running around by herself. Aww.
We hear that she lives for toys and loves long walks. So here's more on Dorita.
Operation Best Friend, sponsored by As You Wish Houses, Christine Connolly Realtor, and by Manthite Group Cross Country Mortgage.
Hi everyone, my name is Monica and I'm from Tri-Cities Animal Services in Pasco, Washington. This week for Operation Best Friend, I have brought Dorita. Dorita is a 5-year-old Staffordshire Terrier, Australian cattle dog mix that came to us back on October 16th of 2024. She was picked up by animal control after being found running around by herself. Sadly, Dorita has had little to no adoption interest, which is really surprising to us because I think she's one of the most unique looking dogs that we have. Dorita lives for toys. She absolutely loves her squeaky toys, to go play in the yards with them, to go for long walks with staff and volunteers, of course. She squeaked her toy the entire way down the freeway on the way here this morning, which goes without saying that she absolutely loved the car ride. It was her first time in the car with me this morning. She was thrilled to go. So Dorita is the definition of cool, calm, and collected all the time. She does seem to know several basic commands like sit and shake. And then this morning I found out that she'll give you both of her paws at the same time, actually. When she's around other dogs and other animals at the shelter, she's just her best self, on her best behavior, seems to want to be friends with all of the dogs. She loves all people, humans big and small. She just wants to be everybody's friend. So if you are interested in adopting a dog like Dorita, we do require, if you have dogs at home, that they meet the dog that you're looking to adopt just to ensure compatibility before going home. Come visit us on this beautiful spring day to adopt your new best furry friend.
I always love their portraits at the end.
So cute, and she was matching with you.
I know.
And they
they're
say she's
pink.
Yeah, and they say she's cool, calm, and collected, so she should be named Dorito.
I
Cool
know.
Ranch.
Cool
And she
Ranch
looks like
Dorito.
a chip too.
That's what I was thinking.
I like
That's
that name
exactly
so
what I
much more.
thought.
That's cute too, Dorita.
I know. She's a cutie and she could be yours. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We have your morning sprint and everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning. Giving you that live look outside from our Yakima Federal camera here at the Apple Valley Studio in Kennewick. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will be back with your full First Alert forecast after the break. It's 5:43.
What makes NU unique? The amazing customer service that we offer to our patients. They know that they're heard, that they're listened to, and we genuinely care about their well-being.
From the second I walked in that office, I felt seen, I felt heard, I didn't feel judged. It just was like, we're a team and we're gonna figure this out.
I had a rare form of breast cancer. Dr. Fedino has just been fantastic. She was really just on my side and helping me, and I'm so relieved and blessed that I went there.
I'm nowhere near diabetic, and I feel amazing. And I lost 55 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off.
She had saved my life because if she hadn't taken just that moment to ask me one extra question, I absolutely would have had an ugly cancer 6 months later.
Go to newuwomensclinic.com to explore the countless ways that wellness meets beauty.
Hey Ham Fam! Easter is April 20th, and when your family gathers this season, spend less time in the kitchen and more time with your loved ones. At Honey Baked Ham, we have everything your gathering needs, starting with our fully cooked spiral cut ham, dripping with our famous mouth-watering glaze. Add a smoked or oven-roasted turkey breast, delicious sides and desserts. Your complete feast is waiting for you at Honey Baked Ham. Order online or give us a call. Honey Baked Ham, helping you make the most of your time with family.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
Welcome to Pasco, where we are building a community rooted in culture. Check out the Farmers Market downtown at Peanuts Park, Saturdays from May through October. Taste something new at one of our diverse local restaurants, the Pasco Specialty Kitchen vendor windows, or our growing food truck scene. And enjoy the natural beauty of our waterfront parks and the Sacagawea Heritage Trail. Shop small, explore local, and experience the spirit of Pasco. Naturally transformative.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacy Lee Weather, Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be a dry day, so we're going to skip ahead in time to tomorrow. This is 8 in the morning. We'll step you through this with Futurecast radar, and you can see the morning's going to start off dry, but around lunchtime, really after lunchtime, that's when we'll see the arrival of this next round of rain, and even by the evening, it's going to be some snow at pass level in the Cascades. It looks like the Cascades are going to eat up most of this. This iteration of Futurecast trying to bring some of this rainfall down into the basin around dinner time, but I think the gist remains the same. The Cascades are going to eat up most of this. Hey, winds are going to be a big factor once again for tomorrow, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Some of them could gust between 20 to 45 miles per hour. Once again, it's going to be Salish Pass off of US 97. That could see some of the strongest wind gusts from this round. We have another round that we'll talk about here in a second, as that next little impulse is going to be into Friday, but especially for Saturday. The forecast pretty dry after that, but one of the biggest variables for Saturday's forecast, once again, going to be the winds, this time much stronger, especially for the blue foothills of Morrow County and for the Kittitas Valley. They could gust out of the west and northwest between 50 to 55 miles per hour. So if we did have some spotty power outages, some downed tree limbs, I would not be too shocked, but we have a few more days to update some of these numbers. And in terms of the snowfall we're expecting from the storm system, we're not expecting a lot, probably less than an inch for our Blue Mountain passes, up around 2 inches for I-90 up towards Snoqualmie Pass. High temperatures going up, going down, sort of all over the place, but mostly seasonal over these next 7 days. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Dry and mild/warm with a stretch of breezy weather from Thursday through Saturday, but also for Monday and Tuesday. In Yakima, breezes picking up Thursday and Friday, with a peak being on Saturday. Calmer weather by Sunday. In Ellensburg, windy on Friday and Saturday, with the strongest winds on Saturday. Another bout of winds possible into Monday and Tuesday, but not nearly as strong. For Hermiston, a stretch of breezy conditions Thursday through Saturday, and breezes picking up again at the beginning of next week. Then for Walla Walla, small shower chances Friday and Saturday, with a few thunderstorms possible Saturday, dry for Sunday and beyond.
Now, the Morning Sprint.
5:49, time for your morning sprint and everything you need to know as you head out the door with your top 5 local things this morning. One person's in the hospital after Benton County deputies responded to a car hitting a power pole. This happened near East Perkins Road just after midnight. Officials say 2 people were checked by medics at the scene. The 19-year-old driver was taken to the hospital. Investigators say speed and not paying attention appeared to be the main factors in that crash.
A Pasco man is accused of sex crimes against children and has been arrested. 34-year-old Jonathan Atkinson was taken into custody yesterday. A federal grand jury indicted Atkinson on 11 criminal counts. If he's found guilty, the maximum sentence would be life in prison. He is scheduled to be arraigned in federal court tomorrow. And if you know anything about this, call Pasco Police as soon as possible.
And the city of Sunnyside wants to hear from you. They're hosting 2 community forums to gather public input on whether to allow the retail sale of cannabis within city limits. 2 forum times are set for today at noon and 6 p.m. It's at the Sunnyside Community Center on 1st Street, and it's your chance to ask questions and share your thoughts.
And a heads up, Alder Street between Bridge and Sinclair will be closed today from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and this is for water service replacements. Detours will be in place, but emergency cars and pedestrians won't be able to access the area. Make sure you plan accordingly to avoid delays.
And Hapo Community Credit Union is celebrating the grand opening of its newest financial center in Prosser. The ribbon cutting ceremony will take place April 24th at 10:30 at 580 Wine Country Road. Guests are invited to come and enjoy refreshments from Mama Java Coffee, along with pastries and fresh fruit. And it's a great opportunity to check out the new location and celebrate with the Hapo team.
In your national headlines this morning, a new round of tariffs kicked in just at midnight. 90 countries in total are impacted, but President Trump hit China the hardest with tariffs, now totaling 104%. And just minutes ago, China responded by raising its retaliatory tariffs to 84%, up from 34%, and those go into effect tomorrow. China says they will, quote, fight to the end. And President Trump says his team is working on tailored deals that eventually could lower some of the tariffs that have been put into place in certain countries. He also says he'll soon announce a major tariff on pharmaceutical imports and that he wants plants to open in America. And investigators are looking into an apparent air traffic control error that led to a near miss last month in the Washington, D.C. area. On March 28th, a formation of military jets were about 5 seconds away from crashing into a Delta Airbus, and that was taking off from Reagan National Airport. The standard protocol for such flyovers is for Reagan National to hold departing flights for 5 minutes. It's unclear why that did not happen, but it's being called a communication breakdown.
And in your business headlines at 5:52, President Trump signed a series of executive orders aimed at boosting the coal industry. This directs federal agencies to end what it calls discriminatory policies against the coal industry, and that includes eliminating a measure that prohibited coal projects on federal land. Another order aims to protect coal plants that are currently operating, and President Trump has also instructed the DOJ to look into state policies that discriminate against coal. And companies are increasingly using artificial intelligence to sort through applicants before they reach a human recruiter. And that could be good news for job seekers. Nearly half of hiring managers report using AI to screen resumes and applications. According to data from job seeker resource site Resume Genius, they say an HR advisory firm says these new AI tools can understand the content of a resume, meaning they can help spot candidates even if their resumes don't mention certain keywords.
And those home improvement projects will have to be put on hold Easter Sunday, and that's if you're a Lowe's customer. The retailer says it will close its stores on April 20th, and this is the 6th year in a row that Lowe's has chosen to close for the holiday. A spokesperson says it's an appreciation of their employees and to give them time to spend with their loved ones. Other stores like Best Buy, Costco, Target, and TJ Maxx will also be closed. In your health headlines this morning, a case of measles has been confirmed in Hawaii. The governor saying it's a child who recently traveled overseas. The child is recovering at home, but hospitals in Hawaii have been put on high alert. Officials also saying someone who lives in the same home is experiencing similar symptoms and is currently under observation.
A new study finds clusters of additives in ultra-processed foods can be linked to type 2 diabetes. These clusters are typically looked at by each additive, but the study found that it may be more harmful eaten together than alone. 2 specific mixtures were linked to a small but significant increase in type 2 diabetes. This finding is notable in part because nearly 70% of all grocery store food in the U.S. is ultra-processed. 5:54, talking sports this morning. Seattle Kraken, their road trip had a rough patch Tuesday night. That was last night, ending their 3-game winning streak. The momentum slipped after 2 quick penalties just 8 seconds apart, led to back-to-back power play goals and an early 3-0 lead. Things didn't get much better when the Kraken ultimately fell 7-1. They're playing the Utah Hockey Club there. They are looking to bounce back as they wrap up their road schedule Thursday, tomorrow in Vegas.
An international Duke University men's basketball player could be impacted over the State Department's U.S. visa policy. Kaman Malik just finished his freshman season at Duke after his team lost in a semifinal 4 game on Saturday. Duke's loss was the same day Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced plans to take actions to revoke all visas held by South Sudanese passport holders, and Rubio said the decision was due to the country's failure to accept the return of its repatriated citizens. He and his family fled to Uganda when he was a boy due to conflict in South Sudan, and the 18-year-old represented his country last year at the Paris Olympics.
5:55, trending this morning, YouTube sensation and child educator Miss Rachel and her husband have welcomed a baby girl into their family.
And you wore pink for the occasion.
Just for her.
Miss Rachel announced the news on her Instagram page yesterday, and the post includes a photo of her snuggling with Susanna. How cute.
A Caruso revealed in the post that she and her husband Aaron used a surrogate because she was unable to carry the baby for medical reasons. The couple are already parents to a son, 7-year-old Thomas.
Well, that's why I didn't know she was pregnant. Because she's a surrogate.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait, did we even know that
this
this was happening? But yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
I grew up on
Congratulations.
Barney. So
yeah,
I missed the whole Miss Rachel.
Missed the whole Miss Rachel.
He was
yeah.
never pregnant, right?
Yeah,
Barney, no,
he
Barney
just looks like it.
Yeah.
Hey, but Miss Rachel's not the only one having a baby. You just became an uncle.
I did.
Congratulations
Shout
to you.
out to my sister and to my niece, Georgia Claire. She was just born like
Moments
30-ish minutes ago.
I know, I love that.
Claire.
Yeah, big day in the Colbert family.
Love it. All right. So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Benton County deputies responding to an overnight car crash after it hit a power pole. We have the details of what they think caused that crash.
Plus, Dorita is this week's Operation Best Friend, and if you missed her in this hour, we'll meet her again in our 6 o'clock hour. Also, Josh, what are you tracking?
We're tracking some very windy conditions as we head into this weekend, but in general, mostly dry forecasts. Temperatures kind of going up and down. I'll talk about it all coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.